Well, my name is Alan Graham, and I am the president and founder and chief executive officer for Mobile Ocean Fishes. Well, at the highest purpose level, our mission is to empower communities into a lifestyle of service with the homeless. And we do this through a number of ways. We have these food trucks that go out on the streets every night of the week in Austin and some other cities around the United States that encounter the homeless where they are: street corners, parks, under bridges, alleyways, shelters, weekly rate motels.
My name's Ellis Johnston. Since 2008, finding a place to sleep was the hardest. And then having to, and then you hide from so they don't see you where you're sleeping, usually at churches. But food or some clothing if you needed it. First they did, but now they've gotten, adjusted to seeing a homeless person around in that area all the time.
What I believe is that God created us. And I believe very profoundly that God created us in His image. And when we're looking at that man or woman that's standing on the street corner, I really genuinely believe that we are looking at someone who was created in the image of God, by God, in collaboration with their mother and father. And there can be nothing imperfect about that, even though on the outside there are the imperfections of who we are as a human being.
It would hurt, demeanor you, make you feel bad about yourself. It'd make you think that people didn't really care about other people.
And so what we see on the exterior is a very thin layer of skin that is wrapping the outside. So it's the homeless guy out there with the beard, they smell. But inside is that created image of God. The other thing that I believe is that at the moment that they were created, a seed of talent and hope was implanted into each of us. And you and I are lucky. We had somebody that was watering and nourishing that seed so that it grows up into the young woman that you are, to be able to sit here interviewing and about to graduate from high school. Almost without exception, the people that are on the streets did not receive that nourishment. And in a way, for those people that can't see that extraordinary created beauty of an image of God, the image of Jesus in each one of these human beings, it makes me want to grab them and go into the streets and say, look at this, look at these human beings, listen to their stories. And I can tell you that I have journeyed with hundreds of people on street retreats, on truck runs, people that I've never met, and you can't help but encounter God in those things. Here's another way that I look at it. When I was 10, 11, 12 years old, when you were 10, 11, 12, when your dad was 10, 11, 12, your mom 10, 11, 12 years old, we have dreams. We have fantasies about who we are going to become. There are things that take you to a space where you can see yourself in that space, but in reality you probably will never ever be in that space. And if you're a 55-year-old homeless guy standing on the street corner, it is exactly the same. Those dreams are still there. And so I say that the little boy or the little girl is still present inside the 57-year-old guy or the 60-year-old crack addict, alcoholic, prostitute, glue sniffer, that child is still in there, and that's the person that Jesus wants us to reach in and encounter. That's what we try to do when we lift people up off the streets, is dream your dreams.
Just not to be so hard on them, you know. Everybody struggles. They just take it out on homeless people. Like, yeah, I don't know why.
So I think just the way that God looks at who we are, we're all equivalently broke. There's not one brokenness that's worse than the other.
It's hard. But circumstances, you know, sometimes you can't avoid them. But, you know, just don't be so hard on them.
The people that live on the streets actually love being around young people a lot more than they like being around older people. The reason is that the older we become, the more judgmental we become. And young people are free of that judgment, and they're willing to accept people in the spaces that they're in. And so I would absolutely encourage people that are in high school to get involved with Mobile Loaves and Fishes. And you can go to our website at mlf.org and learn about us. And you can email us at info@mlf.org, and we'll direct you to the right commissary, depending on what part of town that you live in. Or if you want to get involved in our housing movement that we're heavily involved in, called Community First, you can click on that link and learn a lot about us, watch the videos, and we'll, again, email us at info@mlf.org, and we'll guide you to the right spot.